You can see here. First go for the software matrix. Okay. So what is meaning of software matrix? Because everything will come in the software metric itself, whatever topics we will discuss. So software metric is a standard of measures. Keep in mind, standard of measures that contain many activities. Okay, that contain many activities which involves some degree of measurements. Okay, we'll use some measurements. Okay, one more thing before starting going into the more detail. If you are going to purchase anything, okay, in real life we have different metrics. Okay, say for example you are going to purchase some vegetables. Okay, so generally we take in a kilogram. Okay, if the liquid material is there, then the liter measurement unit we will use. If distance is there, kilometer, and some higher level and low level units of measurements also there. So you can see here different units are there, metrics are there that we use to measure, and with that quantitative measure we can cost, we can apply some price. So like this, in this software also we can apply these metrics, this type of metrics to measure the quality, to measure the quality of the product, process, and project. So how we will measure? So we will listen. We will see one by one. So software metrics can be categorized into three parts. First one is the product matrix that we'll discuss here itself. Next one is the process matrix. The process which you are applying, how we will assess that process is proper or not, good or not, or how efficient that method is there. Next one is the project matrix. So whole execution of the work that you are going to do. So we can characterize with some matrix that we call the project matrix, like this. So in product matrix, what we do, if you go for one by one, so some characteristics we can characterize this product matrix, like we can use the size, okay, complexity of the product, size of the product, design features of the product. Okay, software product. We are considering here software product, and design features, performance, quality level. It is high level, low level, or medium level, and reliability. Okay, failure-free operations. Next one is the functionality. So these are the different metrics. We can take these metrics to measure the software product. Okay. Next one is the process. In the process matrix, what we can do in process matrix, this process matrix characterize the important characterize to improve the development and maintenance activities of the software. Okay, efforts needed in the process to develop the product, and process matrix may contain the effect of the development tools and the techniques that we have applied during the development. Okay, whatever process we are using. Then number of defects found during testing, then productivity, the quality, and the failure rate, and the efficiency, how efficient the process was that. So these type of things we consider in the process matrix. If you come on to the project matrix, so it describes the project characteristics and the execution. Okay, so what we will consider here, we can consider number of software, okay, developers who worked in that project, staffing pattern, what was the staffing pattern, okay, how you assigned the work over the life cycle of the project from the beginning to the end, okay, how much cost incurred, and how you scheduling done, how you schedule that one, and what was the productivity, it was productive or not. So what is this? Now you can understand software metric contains these three parameters over which we assess the software development. Next, a very famous model is the Macaulay's triangle of quality. Okay, so our objective is whatever software we are building, we will assess this based on the quality. So this Macaulay triangle is partitioned into three parts. Okay, and each section has some characteristics. So you can see here, you can look here, the product transition is there, you can see here, product operation is there, and the product revision is there. So you can see product operation. In the product operation you can see here the correctness, the measures the correctness, how usability, efficiency, okay, reliability, and the integrity. So these are the different terms which comes under the product operation part. Okay, next one is the product revision. Revision means you are going to make some changes, revise, because software development is a continuous process, no? In between, if we are using the spiral model, any iteratively we make the changes, we improve the software. So you can see here maintainability feature and flexibility, how flexibility is the testability features. So this is related to the product revision. Next one is the portability. This one is the product transition. Product transition means we are using the portability, reusability, and interoperability. So these are the features. So one part concentrates on the operation. Operation means when we started execution of the software build, how correct, how accurate answer you are getting, how much it is usable, efficiency is there or not, efficiency in terms of the resources, will be the software and hardware, whatever, how much resources you are using in that, how efficiently work is being done. Okay, how much performance we are getting. So efficient manner the work is happening or not at the time of operation of any product. Reliability means it is nothing but the failure free operation of the software. If some problem is coming in the software, so your software is still continue to work. Okay, and you should be unaware of that problem that has occurred. Okay, and integrity is there. Integrity is related to when you are using your software, any unauthorized, unauthenticated, okay, intrusion, yeah, entry must be restricted. Okay, so these things we consider in the product revision. Maintainability, I already told. Maintainability means maintenance is a long and continuous process during the entire lifespan of the software happens. So the at the time of revision, maintainability possible or not, flexibility, how much the different components are flexible to make the changes, whether the each component can be testable or not, can be tested or not. Okay, if testability is there, feature is there. For testability, we will have testability. At the time of testability we check whether the system is running. At the time of running, the log files are being generated or not. If log file is generated, then we can, anytime some problem is coming, we can find out the problem. Okay, so this testability feature must be there. Okay, next one is the portability. Portability, you can see here. Portability means you have built your software in some platform, and now you are porting from one platform to another platform. Platform means it will contain the hardware and software. Okay, it will be composed of hardware and software. So like hardware, whatever system you are using, then you are using the You are using the Microsoft of Windows, or you are using the Linux or any other platform. So this refers to the portability of the product from one place to another place, one platform to another platform. Reusability is a feature which enables you to reuse the developed model with some modification, some changes. So the reusability, same kind of problem is coming, same type of product you want to again build. So this component can be reused. Then interoperability means two system, two different platforms are there. So how much it is interoperable. Okay, interoperability, how much the easiness is there in the interoperability. What happens now, interoperability is a very big problem. Suppose different companies, they are building their own product, they are having their own standards. Okay, they are having own in standards, and they are building, there is no common standard. If no common standard is there, then the problem will come up for sure, because I will have my own standard, so I will use my own size and way of communication. Say for example, internet connection is there. In the internet connections, if a hardware component, like we connect the ethernet cables, if you think about that, if the sizes are different, then if the companies are using the different size, okay, for building, for connectivity, then if the component connectivity will be very difficult from one company product to another company product. So interoperability is also very important aspect of your project. Okay, same thing we can understand in terms of the software. Okay, this is a comment, not important, but Macaulay quality factor, see, it was proposed in 1970, but still due to the heavy change, paradigm shift in the technology, still it is valid. Okay, that is nothing. So your quality software, the tree of your quality software, okay, is based on the root of these three triangles. If these features are there, definitely you will get this one. So these are the quality factors. Okay, that is the product transition, product revision, and the product operation. So the quality software tree is dependent upon the built on the this strong root of these quality factors. If these quality factors are there, definitely you are going to get the quality software. So this is the Macaulay's quality factor. Okay, next come to the measures, metrics, and indicators. So a measure provides a quantitative indication of the extent, amount, dimension, capacity, or size of some attributes of a product or a process. So this is nothing but a measure. So this is concentrated towards the any attribute or characteristics. Okay, next one is the, and what are these dimensions, these attributes, you can based on these measures you can decide the metrics. Okay, so the IEEE, okay, defines a metric as a quantitative. It is a quantitative measure of the degree to which a system, component, or process possesses a given attribute. So it is a kind of quantitative measures. See, if we are having the quantitative measurements, if we can measure something in a quantitative way, then what happens, it becomes very easy for evaluation and easy for understanding purpose. Okay, so next one is the indicator. Indicator is a metric or combination of it is a combination of metrics that provide insight into the software process, a software project, or the product itself. Okay, let's come to the measurement principle. How you will measure, what principles that it governs. So the objective of the measurement should be established before data collection begins. See, for measurement purpose, what you will do, you need data, then you will do the further task. So for that objective, we have to predefine first. The objective of the measurement should be established before the data collection. What objective you have? Suppose this time the corona data set you want to do some analysis over that. So for you fix your objective, then according to that you collect the data. Each technical metric should be defined in an unambiguous manner. Okay, whatever technical metrics, the measurement, the metrics, your units, you are going to define. Okay, it should be done in unambiguous fashion. Metrics should be derived based on the theory that is valid for domain applications. Easy. So example, matrix for the design should draw upon basic design concepts and the principle and attempt to provide an indication of the presence of an attribute that is deemed desirable. Okay, so metric that you are going to derive based on some theory, that is the valid for the domain applications. Say for example, some mathematical formula is there. Okay, any mathematical formula you can think about. So there will be some theoretical background over that. Okay, and it will be used in some specific domain for whatever is the application domain is there. Say for we are using the linear regression, okay, for prediction purpose. Any linear regression for prediction purpose. So what we can do? Some mathematical foundation is there. One formula you can think y is equal to mx plus c kind of thing. You can see here. Okay, like this. So this is a theoretical background is there, and the application domain is for prediction. You can do the predictions using this, the based on the value of x, okay, and the slope and the this intersect, you can get the y. Okay, next, matrix should be tailored, okay, to best accommodate specific product and process. Okay, so matrix you can adjust as per your requirement for the product and processes whatever you are using. It is not any hard and fast rule. It is not very we can say it is not a very strongly stated that this you have to use. Okay, it is not like that. You can tailor, you can modify the best, which best represents your product. Okay, that matrix you can use with some slight modifications. Next one is the measurement process. In measurement process, we have there are five these terms that you can see in the measurement process. 5 activities you have to know. So first one is the formulation. Formulation means the derivation of the software measures and metrics appropriate for representation of the software that is being used. So you will derive some formula like y is equal to mx plus c, I told. So formulation is done. Then collection the mechanism used, whatever mechanism, whatever methodology you have used to accumulate data, to collect the data required to derive the formulated matrix. Okay, based on some data you will derive some matrix. Okay, and you can empirically or experimentally prove that also. Analysis means the computation of matrix and the application of the mathematical tools. Okay, computation analysis. Here what will do? Computation you will do the calculation of matrix and the mathematical application of the mathematical tool. Okay, the formula I told, any formula. Okay,
For example, you can see E is equal to mc square for energy measurement. So these type of formula we use to measure. Like that, for software you have to tune, you have to think what for matrix it will be applicable for my domain. Next one is the interpretation. The evaluation of the matrix results in an effort to gain the insight into the quality of the representation. So this belongs to the interpretation part. Whatever analysis is done, okay, after data collection you do analysis, and after analysis you will do some interpretation will tell what happened. Okay, when you will interpret the results. Okay, so it will, what you it will help it will make the effort to gain insight into the quality of the representation. If you interpret it properly, after the interpretation you will came to know that okay, this metric is good or not. Okay, which portion is, what software component is working properly. Okay, so you can interpret, from the interpretation you can know, and then quality of the representation you can tell. Okay, the fifth part is the feedback is very important. In the feedback, what you need the information. Okay, based on that you will do the recommendations. Okay, whenever you are using some system, after the this time online education system is running due to this pandemic. So what is happening here? Anyway, the learning process is going on, but what problem you are facing up from your side, that we can be known from our side or any organization who are the end users. They will tell this feedback. So recommendations derived from the interpretation of the product matrix transmitted to the software team. To whom you will tell? The software team. Whatever recommendation, okay, interpretation you have got, you tell to the software team, because ultimately they will build the software. So they will keep in mind, okay, these points you will keep in mind to build the quality softwares. These metrics, as per these metrics we have assessed that the evaluation to be good. Goal oriented software measurements. Okay, see, goal oriented software measurements, we have different methods, okay, for measurement purpose. But here, what is the goal oriented? What are the objectives of the software? Based on that we build the software, then we will assess, we will measure this one. So the goal, okay, the question or metric paradigms, you can see first 3 points you can see here. Establish an explicit measurement goal that is specific to the process, activity or product characteristics, that is to be assessed. So first point says specific means clear measurement goal. Next one, define a set of questions. So we will define some set of questions that must be answered in order to achieve the goals. Then identify the well formulated matrix, and after that you will formulate the matrix, okay, evaluation matrix, that will help to answer these questions. Okay, next one. So like this time now what is happening for education systems, you undergo some faculty feedback or some student feedback, or there are various type of survey or feedback form you fill. So in that what we fix the matrix. We fix the matrix na. What are the above that, what is the measurement goals? Then you set the define a set of questions based on your goal. Okay, you have to design the set of goals. Then you will fit the matrix.
So you will be whenever you get the form, the feedback form, you will be having 10 questions. Okay, you set those questions. You have 10 questions. You have maybe the communication, depth of knowledge, timing, punctuality. So many points are there. The question you set, then you will set the matrix. In the matrix, what you do? In the matrix, you have some grading system range. If I say you rate 1 to 5, okay, so you can rate 1 to 5 or 1 to 4, whatever, or a categorical value I can use, good, poor, okay, excellent, like that. So what are these? These are the different metrics that we can use uh, in a goal oriented. Okay, goal definition template, you can see how you can do. So we have the analyze part, the name of the activity, or attribute to be measured you will have. Okay, for the purpose of, okay, the overall objective of the analysis. What is the overall analysis? Next one is the with respect to the aspect of activity or attribute that is considered, the people who have an interest in the measurement. Next one is the context, the environment in which the measurement takes place. So okay, for understanding this, you can also take the example of faculty feedback also. So that is also college metrics that they use to assess the quality of the teaching of the faculty or whatever. Okay, so they can go like this, so you can understand. So metric attributes, what are the attributes? So first one is the simple and computable. Whatever metrics you are using, if it is not computable, say for example, if you are using the metrics like one rating system, okay, so rating system you are using 1 2 3, you will, okay, 1 2 3, like this you have given some ratings. So 1 2 3 numerical value, it can be easily calculated based on the different options. So simple and computable, it should be very simple. Okay, it should be relatively easy to learn how to derive the matrix, and its computation should not demand inordinate effort or time. Next one is the empirically and intuitively uh, persuasive. So empirically means practically or experimentally you can do. Intuitively means based on your knowledge, based on your common sense, you can persuade. So the matrix should satisfy the engineer's intuitive notion, what is coming from his inside, about the product attribute under the consideration. Okay, next one is the consistent and objective. The metric should always yield results that are unambiguous. Okay, whatever in the final result you are getting, you must be able to interpret that one. It should not confuse what you derived from that. The consistent in its use of unit and dimensions. So whatever units or dimensions you are using, say for example, for measurement of distance you are using the kilometer, so you make it uniform. Don't switch to some place in meters, okay, or even some other kilometer or miles. So you must be consistent with the units and dimensions. The mathematical computation of the metering should be measured and do not lead to a bizarre combination of the units. Don't combine, you go in a one like kilometer you have used, okay, or in software terms you are using some like number of features or number of requirements, number of function points, whatever you are using, you go in a one direction. Don't mix for better understanding, I told you are using the kilometer. In between you started using the meter, then it will affect the whole things because numerical value will change. So programming language independent, whatever metrics you are using, it should not depend any programming language. So metric should be based on the analysis model, the design model or structure of the program itself. It is not talking about the coding part, whether you are using C or C++, Java, Python, okay, or any Ruby, any language that you are using, okay. This should be independent because we are concentrating here the models, analysis model, design models, and even structure of the program, but not the program, not the code. Next one is the effective mechanism for quality feedback. Okay, that is the metric should provide a software engineer with the information that can lead to a higher quality end products, because the engineer or whatever software engineer they are working, they will do their best. But what happens if the user feedback, some quality feedbacks from the user or who are involved, who are the stakeholders, they are helping, then it helps a lot to make the higher quality products by the software engineers. So these are the some metrics attributes. Next, collection and analysis principle. Collection and analysis principle. What it says, whenever possible, data collection analysis should be automated. Automated means some automated mechanism. Okay, so software is there. Okay, for data gathering you can do. So it should be automated. Don't do it manually. Next one is the valid statistical techniques. Okay, valid statistical techniques. What are the different statistical techniques? There are so many: mean, medium, standard deviation. So many things are there. Say for example, I am telling, should be applied to establish relationship between the internal product attributes and the external quality characteristics. Next one is the interpretive guidelines and the recommendations should be established for each metric. Okay, interpretive guidelines means what? Okay, some guidelines we have to put, what you have to do and what you have to, no, guidelines mean what you have to follow, and recommendations you can do. So guidelines and recommendations, okay, should be established for each metrics. Means in which scenario which metric will be used, which unit you will use for the measurement of the quality. Next one is metric for the requirement model. Okay, so function based metric, you can see here, use the function point as a normalizing factor or as a measure of the size of the specification. So we have the different type of metrics in that function based metric is very important. We will discuss in detail also this one. Use of function point as a normalizing factor, okay, or as a measure of the size of the specification of the software. Whatever software you are building, for their specification we can use this one function point. Okay, next one is specification matrix. Okay, so used as an indication of quality by measuring the number of requirement by type. So the matrix here, specification matrix, indicates to the how many number of requirements by type, means category, type of requirement, category of requirement is there, that will be used for the measurement of the quality. So these two things you can see here. Here we use the function point. Okay, so let's come on to this one, function based matrix. So in function based matrix, function means some functionality will be there. There will be different functionality in your software.
So that will be that are broadly classified, and then based on that we compute the quantitative value for measurement of the quality of the product. Okay, so function point metric first proposed by Albrecht in 79. See how many years back. So can be used effectively as a means for measuring the functionality achieved by a system. So function points are derived using an empirical relationship. Empirical means experimental or practical relationship based on the countable and not countable, direct countable measures of the software information domain and assessment of software complexity. You can look here. So information domain values are defined in the following manner. You can see, you need to understand, you need to remember also these points. So in your software product, okay, or in a specification of the software, you have to count the number of external inputs, okay, external inputs from outside. So how many number of external inputs are coming, okay, then number of external outputs, okay, number of external outputs, then number of external inquiries, okay, that is also outside of the system, external inquiries, then number of internal logical files, internal logical file within the systems, okay, internal logical files. And next one is the number of external interfaces files. So your database will be there, outside that you will attach to your system from that. Okay, some data, some file is there inside that, some like configuration file, some software you are using, you can have the data inside, database you are using. So what is happening? You can access the data from outside, but for some basic informations or some configuration information, okay, that is also within the system, that is internally accessed within the system. So number of external inquiries, number of internal logical files, then number of external interfaces. Interfaces means the connectivity of the system with the outer world. So okay, so how many you can see here? These are the 5. Okay, so these are the 5 points that you need to consider. You have to remember, you have to know which helps in the function based matrix for the measurement. You can look here, function points. So this is a tabular format. You can look here how the count is done, how counting is done, how we calculate the function points. So you can look here, what is the, here you will make the counting. So say for one example, say for one software is there in software products, you have some external inputs. Say for 4 I am having, you can write here 4. External outputs, like I am having 5, you can write any number, you can write external based on your software. Okay, so these are nothing but the functionality that exist in your software system. It may be internal, it may be external. So those functionality we are counting how many these type of functions are there. External units you can internal logical 5 you can write here. Okay, 10. Then you can write external interfaces like I am having 4. So like this you can write. So you can count this one also. Next you can look here, weighted factor. Weighted factor means you will multiply these value with this one. So it will depend upon your system, okay, whether it belongs to the simple category, it is belongs to the average category, or it is a
complex type of system, software system. So these are the three. In these three, based on your decision or the type of the system that you have says, okay, my system is of simple type, average type, or complex type. So for that, these weights are given. If it is a external inputs and the system is simple, then I have the weight 3. So if it is of average system is of average complexity or average type, and the functionality is average type, then 4. If it is very complex, if complex, then the factor I will take the 6. So like this, so you can add here also. After that, what you will do, if I go for the simple one, okay, then all things will be here. So what you can do, okay, so based on this simple or average we can take. So you will multiply this value 4 multiplied by 3. Okay, so you will write here 12 like this, 5 4, okay, 20 like this, 2, and I say it is of average case, then you can take 4 to the 8, you can write. After that 10 is there, you can multiply it by, okay, 7, then what you will get, 7 is there, 10 is the 70 you will get. After here you can see here 4 is there, and this is simple, so 20 you can get. You can add up this one, so whatever value will come, that will be the total count. And you can also count these function points, these components that are available. So you can add up this value, you will get some value, and here you will can get value. Like this we can do the measurements. Okay, so next one is this is very important. Okay, architectural design matrix. So architectural design matrix means, architecture means whatever structure for your software you have prepared. So in structure there will be different components, and the different components will be connected to each other. Okay, so you can see here structure complexity you can calculate by the function of G is there, and the function of fan out. Okay, and data complexity, structure complexity, and then next one is the data complexity, is a function of input and output variables, and the fan out. Okay, fan in, fan out we discussed in the design part already. Next one is the system complexity, and it's the function of, you can see here, structure and the structural and data complexity. This overall complexity is the combination of this one, structural as well as the data complexity. Whatever you have calculated, it will come here. So this type of we can find the architectural design matrix. So HK metric you can see here, the architectural complexity as a function of fan in and fan out. What is meaning of fan in and fan out? Can anybody tell fan in and fan out?
Function.
Yeah, very good. You tell me.
Function in, function out.
Function in, no, I am telling if this is fan in and fan out. Fan in and fan out, it is it is widely used in the digital electronics subjects. Some TTL or RTL devices are there, in that we count the fan in out, fan out. This is also a metric. No. Fan in, fan out. Suppose we are having different components. They will be in the structure format, they will be connected na. See, for example, fan in and fan out. Suppose this system, if I consider, for this fan out I can consider. So how many components? Okay, they are coming here, they are connected to this one. that is the fan in. And fan out means one system is there, one, and for how many components it is giving the output, like this component. So one component to many, and you can see here many component to one. So like that you can see the complexity, means dependency of one to another. Okay, next one is the morphology matrix, a function of the number of modules and the number of interfaces between the modules. Okay, this is the morphology matrix. You can see here function of the number of modules and the number of interfaces between the modules. Okay, matrix for object oriented designer. So what is here? You can look here. So it describes the 9 distinct and measurable characteristics. Okay, first one is the size. Okay, next one is the complexity, coupling, sufficiency, completeness. Next one is the cohesion, primitives and simplicity, and volatility. Huh? Next one you can see here, size. Size is defined in terms of the 4 views: population, volume, length, and functionality. So in these terms we calculate this size, we measure the size, population, volume, okay, and length and the functionality. So these terms will include. Complexity means how classes of an object oriented design are interrelated to one another. Interrelated, more interrelation will be there. Okay, so more complex system will be there. You can look here. If I have these things, and these are the different nodes, or you can see these are the different components. Here you can look here. Components are connected, but it is not complex. But if I take it mesh, the complexity is increasing. Okay, if more number of components are there, they are connected to each other, the complexity will be more. So here you can look coupling. Next one is the coupling. Coupling is the connection between two items, two components system. It is called the interdependency of the modules. So physical connection between elements of object. This one can be treated as this one. Suppose one module is there, one component is here, another. So they are connected together. So this is the dependency, because its input may be its output may be the input for this one. So until and unless it is not getting the input from this part A, part B is not going to execute. Okay, or B is using some functionality of A. Then without its response, this is not going to complete the work. So this type of dependency happens in the coupling. So physical connection between the elements of the object oriented design. Sufficiency, the degree to which an abstraction process possesses the features required of it, or the degree to which a design component possesses the features in its abstraction from the point of view of the current applications. So sufficiency, here we are talking about the abstraction, possession of the abstraction. Okay, the features required of it. So abstraction, you know what is the meaning of object abstraction. Abstraction, it divides the logically the systems and hides the complexity, exposes the simplicity part of the systems. Next one is the completeness is there, an indirect implication about the degree to which the abstraction or design component can be reused. Okay, so this is an indirect implication. So what is the degree to which the abstraction or design, whatever component is there, can be reused? That comes under the completeness. Next one, the cohesion is there. It is the interaction within the system. Okay, so we
we know that cohesion must be increased in any system compared to the coupling. So the degree to which all operations working together to achieve a single well-defined purpose